And welcome back. I'm Amy with Georgia Municipal Association. We're live in the hall at the Exhibit Center at the GMA's 84th Annual Convention. I keep wanting to jump either a year ahead or a year behind. I've lost track of the years. And I am joined by Albany Mayor Dorothy Hubbard, who is our incoming president for GMA. And you're going to be, you get elected on I guess tomorrow. Lost track of the days. Elected tomorrow and sworn in Monday.
Yes.
And tell us a little bit, kind of what your plans are. You have a year as the president. What are some of the things that you want to see?
First of all, let me just tell you, I'm really excited, and I have thought a lot about some of the things that I can do to make a difference, and some things that I would like to leave in place that would, be a carryover, a continuation. So my first plan, of course, is to continue the training, making sure that we've done everything we can to have a training program that is better than any other in the country. And I really believe that at this point, we have the best training program in the United States of America. And we've accommodated, the newly elected officials. We work with people who've been in the field for a long time. We're training them. We are keeping them up to date on things as they change. And so I really do plan to continue to concentrate on training and to do everything I can to help and support that, as well as to encourage all of the elected officials to get some of that training that's available to them.
And you, as you mentioned, you were chair of the our training board for several years. You were on the board.
I think I was like 3 or 4 years.
Yes, yes.
I did that.
And our training program continued to grow and change, not just grow, but change as well. We shortened some classes to 3 hours. We're doing more experimenting with online type classes and that kind of thing. Why is that important to you?
Well, number one, I think that we were listening to the membership. And as we listened to the membership, we tried to give them what they say they wanted and what they say they needed. And when you listen to your constituents, when you listen to the membership, then you can't help but end up being better than you were because you've done what they say they wanted. And they've shown us that was really what they wanted, because that classes have been overflowing for the last couple of years.
We use up every single space here for training.
Yes, we do, and I'm just so proud of that because certainly people do need the training, and when you give it to them the way they want it and the way they can get it, then they are more than likely to take advantage of it.
I do think I always try to emphasize this to people who aren't familiar with GMA, that Georgia was the first state in the nation to have mandatory training for newly elected officials. And GMA was a part of that from the get-go.
Yes,
and our training just continues to grow. And not just the number of classes, but I think and this again is a testament to your leadership there, is that we have emerging issues classes, so it's not static.
That's exactly right. We have emerging issues, and we added classes in areas like in the utilities areas when I was board chair, and those are the kinds of things that you have to be mindful of. We also changed the time of some of them. Some of them were 6 hours, and we would spend the whole day on Saturday, but we split them up and made a part 1 and maybe in a part 2, and 3 hours on Friday, and then you can get another 3 hours on Monday or Tuesday. And so it also is convenient for a lot of people. A lot of people don't have money to come and stay, but you can leave home from anywhere in Georgia and get here for a 2 o'clock class on Friday evening, And if you want to, you could really go back home and probably get there right after dusk. Dark. So it's been a real joy for me to see it.
And we should note too that you are a retired educator.
I am.
So education is near and dear.
It just was in line with what I had done. I was at one time a registrar and director of admissions, and so in my role as registrar, I would always do the evaluation of courses and course content and what ought to be included in courses and those kind of things. So when I was reading courses for GMA, it was just right down what I had done, for years.
I got this.
So I was just right at home, and I just
it was not a surprise to me last year. We did a survey of our membership of the elected officials to get a little bit more information about who they are. And one of the things we asked was, what do you do? What's your career? Even if you're retired, what was your career? And number one was business. Number two was education. And that didn't surprise me at all, because I see the interest that our city officials have in training and being educated, and the value.
That's what I was about to say. See, education is always connected to all of this.
Right.
You can't get around it in any way. So when you are in education, you know, you just want to learn. You feel an obligation to help your constituents, to help invest in the community, invest in the children, everything.
Yeah.
So it's just a continuous process, as a matter of fact.
We're talking a lot about leadership this weekend.
Yes.
And you were first appointed to the city council
by
Governor Perdue,
then
Governor Perdue,
yes.
And decided to run for mayor.
Well, I don't know that I decided. My constituents decided I had done such a good job that they wanted me. They were like calling me. It's like, I know you're running. You know,
so and that's great. I mean, it was a call to leadership.
Yes,
whether you wanted it or not.
Right.
And you are the first female mayor of Albany.
I am.
What does that mean, do you think, for other young women who see you in this role?
Well, I think it's just wonderful for other young women. You know, I have never looked at it, and I just do what I do, and I try to do everything that I do very well. But when I stop to think about it, you know, people ask me, young ladies, what is your legacy going to be? You know, I'm like, I don't know. I'm just trying to do the best I can. But I do see young women who see me, and their eyes just light up like, you're the mayor. And, you know, what do you do? What does mayors do? And, you know, they ask me all kinds of questions. And Amy, being in education, I also go to every school that I'm invited to during the year. I mean, I'm in there for government and all kinds of programs and beginning programs. And so the young ladies would come up to me and they would say things like, do you live in a White House? You know, do we pay? Yeah, all those kinds of things. I'm like, no, babe, I live in my own house. That kind of thing. And how much money do you make? And you know, and I tell them how much money do they say. I said, is that a lot of money? They're like, yeah, that's a lot of money. But I want to tell you the question that they ask me all the time. One that they don't ask me all the time. And one little young lady did ask me at a school. She asked me, how old are you? And I said, I told you how old I had to be mayor, right? I have to be 18.
So I'm older than 18.
I'm older than 18. And it was so funny because the principal was like that. She said, now you really answered that one. Because, you know, they think 25 is old, you know. And I'm 2 times that, 3 times that, you know. But it was funny. But I really do believe that young ladies really want to aspire to be a mayor or some elected official.
I think they look at you and they see the possible.
Yes, they do. And I tell you, I try, like I
possible.
said, I try to encourage them and inspire them in a way. One day in December, every year after they get out of school, I stay in my office and I allow any young lady who wants to come by my office to come by and talk to me about what it means to be mayor and that kind of thing. So, but now, it is heartwarming for me to see them, you know, aspiring to be.
I was going to ask you about some of the great things going on in Albany, but we're almost out of time, and there are so many awesome, great things going on in Albany. And to me, it's one of the greatest cities in the state.
Well, thank you.
You've got such great
possibilities. And you know, you're always welcome. You're always welcome there.
But before we go, I have to ask, because I noticed this, the pin on your shoulder. You always wear. It's a
B. Yes.
Tell us what is.
Well, that says that to the world that if a bee can fly, that I can do anything. And so it just reminds me to keep trying, and I will get whatever I want to accomplish accomplished.
That is awesome. Well, thank you so much. We look forward to this year with you, getting to work with you even closer than we have in the past, and seeing you all over the state, because I'm sure you'll be
I will be
everywhere.
There. You know I will.
Great. Well, thank you so much, and we're going to be right back with Kelly in just a minute.